Good morning! Thank you for joining Matrix and I for our little van life mini talk this morning. We're having a little bit of rain out there. I can hear it on the roof. It's kind of cozy. I turned the heat up a little bit so that it would be nice and warm in here. But I do these mini talks every day. And it's for people who are thinking about getting on the road, moving into a van, and giving you little pieces of what it's like to live in a van. I also do my Dream to Drive series that you're going to find the link in the description below. And I have been getting some great feedback on that series. So I'm thinking maybe I should go listen to it again myself, and maybe I can add some other things to it. And if you're to the point where you really want to know whether or not you want to move into a van, you can book a one-on-one van life strategy session with me. And the link is in the description below as well. But today I wanted to talk about being retired and living in a van. As you can see from my title, uh, I didn't retire, I moved into a van. Then you'll see that I don't really feel like I'm retired. I don't even really know what that means, except that I know I am retired because I get Social Security checks every month. Other than that, I have no clue. I know some people, when they retire, they do things like move to Florida and, have a place down there and have groups and play golf and all of those things. And nothing the matter with that. That just wasn't for me. As a matter of fact, and this probably wasn't a very nice thing to say to my husband, but we were talking about what retirement looks like. And I asked him what he thought retirement looks like. And he said, well, it looks like buying a little villa in Florida on a golf course and playing golf every day. And my response again was not very nice, but I said, I would rather die. And I knew I would if I did that. If I took that route and I moved to one little place with this little myopic view of the world, that I wouldn't, I probably I wouldn't be kicking around here for a whole long time. So, yeah, that whole story I travel alone, if you get my drift. And so retirement to me, again, I'll say again, the only reason I know I'm retired is because I get a Social Security check. Other than that, I always have so many things going on. And, I like to sit outside in my chair and, when it's warm, and read a book, or just, just hang out. Things that you would think retired people do. But I can't do that for very long pieces of time. I always have something going on. Now, I will tell you that that I don't have a lot of hobbies. I don't knit. I don't do any of those things. My life, my hobbies, my um, everything that I do is somehow related to work. And when I say that, I mean that I always I always kept a scorecard. That's the only way I can describe it. And to know whether or not I was being successful in whatever venture I had at that moment. And that was how much money I was making. That was my scorecard. And it wasn't always how much. I mean, that was great, right? But it was whether or not I was producing any revenue. And if I was, then I felt like that was acceptable. I was a success at it. So I moved into the van, and for the first 2 years, I continued to work at the job that, not my profession, I guess I should say, as a mortgage broker for the first 2 years. I could do it mobily because, as a matter of fact, what happened was I moved into my van January 2020, and COVID hit in March. And so all of a sudden, you couldn't meet anybody in person anyway. So it automatically turned into a mobile profession. And I So I did that for the first couple of years. And I'm like, you know what? Probably I really should retire. Again, I didn't know what that meant, but it sounded like something I was supposed to do because by now I was 68, I guess, almost. And so I kind of stopped doing, uh, being a mortgage broker. And so what was I going to do to replace it? Well, I tried, you know, um, visiting national parks. I still do that, but to make that my main part was to travel and go see national parks. I went to see where the head of the Mississippi. I mean, I really did some great stuff, and I'm not saying I'm going to end doing that by any means, but it just wasn't quite as fulfilling as I thought it was going to be, or as I thought it should be. So I added to that. I have an account over on TikTok, and um, I've had it for a long time. And I mean, I have like, I'm not I'm not saying this to. I'm only saying this so that you can get an idea of what my accomplishment was over there. At least I saw in my mind was I have 78,000 followers over there. And so people have watched me evolve in van life since pretty much since the start. Anyway, but so that is kind of a scorecard for me over there, how many followers I have. In addition, I belong to the Creator Rewards Fund. And so I do make a little bit of money, not a lot, but it is part of my scorecard. So in my retirement, I continue to work toward this successful scorecard kind of thing that I've always had up here. What else do I do? Well, I do Facebook Marketplace. It's so much fun. I don't make a lot of money, but it's okay because I am successful in it. I go to thrift stores or yard sales or any other place that I can think of, and I buy things that I know I can resell on Facebook Marketplace. And then what I do is I put the ads up wherever I am. Doesn't matter where I am, and I'm at a city, let's say, or a good sized town. I put the ads in, and if I'm going to stay in that area for a little while and meet people, do, however, how you do Facebook Marketplace. But when I get ready to leave, I just put the ads on vacation mode, and I don't do anything with it until I get to another place. And then I take it off vacation mode, put in the new zip code for where I am, and I resume. So for me, that is retirement. But, and writing a book, I have all these projects that I'm also working on in the meantime that I don't know, maybe that's what retirement looks like to a lot of people. I don't know. But for me, going and staying in one place, and don't get me wrong, I played golf for many years. I like playing golf. It's very frustrating. It causes a lot of stress and anxiety, just about like working. But I could not, that was not the picture of my retirement, was to stay in one place. I wanted to see the whole United States. And I've always had this little road bug. My grandmother used to say I was like a horse turd, always on the road. And I think she was right. So again, I say this like the third time. The only reason I know I'm retired is because I get Social Security checks. That's the only reason. Now, okay, so I stopped doing the mortgages, and then I had a client call me from a referral and said, I need you. I need a mortgage. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing them anymore. And it's, well, I need you to. And I'm like, well, okay. So of course I had let everything expire. I had to go do all the continuing education. I had to go take the national test. I happened to be in Phoenix at the time. And so I took the national test. Of course, I passed it. And I passed it. And so I was back in business. And so I did that mortgage. And then he brought a friend. I did that mortgage. And then it just kind of, I didn't go try to get any business, but my scorecard was up there. And so it kind of petered out again. And so now here I am my license is going to expire at the end of this year. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm just going to let it expire. I'm 71 years old. I'll be 72 in January. I don't know if I need to retire again. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I guess I'm going to have to up my Facebook marketplace and get going on my book or whatever. So out of the blue, I had this lady call me. She was an accountant of one of the people that I had done a mortgage for sometime in the past. And I do mortgages that aren't necessarily something that you could go to a bank and get. They're great mortgages. They're just non-conforming is what they're called. So anyway, she called me. She said, I have got so many people that want to buy a house and can't qualify after I do their tax returns because I do it without tax returns. I said, I'm retiring. And she's like, don't retire. You can't retire. So anyway, I bought the classes yesterday to do the continuing education. And again, I'm retired, but I'm not. Came back out of it. Going back to work, get that scorecard up there. But I'm not my own boss. And so if I want to drive today, then I don't, I'm not tied up doing anything else. But again, I'll say it the fourth time. The only reason I know I'm retired is because I get Social Security checks. And trust me, they're not big, okay? So it's great that I have all these little side hustles. And I've had some others over the years, just different little things that gave me pleasure to know that I could start something and that I could actually make it successful. And then, of course, once it was successful, I didn't want to do it anymore. That was just kind of my way. So I moved into a van instead of retiring. That was my title, and that is exactly what I did. Today, got to take that continuing education. I got all of these things that I need to do. And I love doing my social media. I love coming on here and seeing you. I love posting my videos, which, by the way, the video I'm posting on Tuesday, I think this is something that people have the most trouble with about moving into a van or onto the road is that actual transition from getting from one place to another, getting out of the house and into the van, that transition. So I'm going to talk about that on Tuesday and how I did it. Anyway, I'm not retired. I live in a van instead. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. This is my mini talk for today. And I guess I'll see you again tomorrow. And if you have any subject that you'd like me to cover, please put it in the comments because I can see the comments obviously afterwards. And I didn't do a thumbnail today because I'm like, let's just see how it works. Anyway, I love you all. And I just love doing everything that I do. And my scorecard on this is just seeing you come on and comment. So thank you so much for that. And I will see you again tomorrow.